Which Atari 2600 games are the most underrated? We're about to find out. The Atari 2600 is one of the most iconic video game consoles of all time, and it happens to be one of our favorite systems to collect for and play.
Oh, yeah.
We both love Atari, don't we?
Way back.
Way back, that's right. And as of filming this video, we have almost 200 Atari 2600 games in the collection. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
But I feel like a lot of those games just don't quite get the attention they deserve. What's going on, everyone? I'm COE33, Co for short, and this is my sister Leaf.
Hey, guys!
We love talking about and playing video games, from the retro classics like we'll be talking about today, to current gen and everything in between. Let's get this party started with the 5 most underrated Atari 2600. Get this party started. Roof, roof.
Woof, woof. Ow!
And we're not talking about the classics here, guys. So we're not talking about Pitfall. We're not talking about Yar's Revenge or Centipede or Pac-Man or any of those games. We're talking about games that are just as fun as those games, but maybe don't get talked about quite as much. Now, we want to know, what games do you think are considered underrated on the Atari 2600? Let us know in the comments section below. But let's start with the number 5 Atari 2600
Not 4.
underrated video game.
Not 3.
Not 17.
Not 17. But
5. Coming in at number 5 is the 1983 Activision game, Dolphin. Dolphin, you're playing as an endangered dolphin, of course. You're trying to avoid the seahorses using your echolocation, and you're trying to avoid the evil squid who's trying to eat you. Do squids eat dolphins?
eat you for lunch.
Yeah, that's right. And then, if you can get through all those seahorses in time and avoid the squid, there's a seagull that comes flying across the screen. You gotta jump up out of the water,
But if
and you gotta get that seagull.
That mean old octopus.
Yeah, he'll get you. And this game, like, if you just put it on, you don't know what you're doing, it's super frustrating because, like, you hit these barriers of seahorses. The trick is, if you hear the little sonic return, you know, your little echolocation, if it's a high pitch, you know the gap in the barrier will be high. If it's a low pitch, you know the gap in the barrier will be low. And once you dial that in, you can fly through these barriers and avoid that squid. This game has great graphics, great sound, solid gameplay, and I don't hear it talked about that much, so I think Dolphin is definitely an underrated game on the Atari 2600. Coming in at number 4 is the iMagic 1982 game, Cosmic Ark. Now, I love iMagic games in general. I've been collecting as a subset on the Atari. I've been trying to collect all the various iMagic games. This one has you piloting an ark, an Atlantean ark, trying to save people from a planet that's being bombarded by meteor showers. So there's multiple parts to the gameplay.
Wow. That would be scary.
Yeah, right? Part 1 is you have the meteor shower coming at your ark, and you have to blast it. So you can blast left, right, up, or down, and you have to protect the ark. Then you go down to the planet, and you have to rescue people, and they're all on the bottom of the surface of the planet running around, and they're very frantic, and you have to shoot down your tractor beam, pick up the passengers, rescue them in the ark, while avoiding laser beams that are trying to take out your ark, and even more meteor showers. So it gets pretty frantic in later levels, but this is another solid game. iMagic was knocking it out of the park back in the day, and if you haven't played Cosmic Ark, I recommend it. Coming in at number 3 is the Activision classic, Barnstormin'. There it is. Look at that beauty. And this is a game that I actually used to love to play back in the day when we had our Atari 2600 in the 80s. This was one of the games, a go-to game. And I think this game gets some love, but I don't feel like it's talked about as much as it deserves.
No.
It's a lot of fun. Well, it gets a little love. It needs a little more, though. Barnstormin', it's a side-scrolling game. You play as a biplane trying to swoop through the barns, avoid the weather vanes, avoid the obstacles like the birds and whatnot, and you got to beat your record time. So you got to get through this is your bird impression. You got to get through those barns as quickly as possible, and it's a simple gameplay loop, but it's fun, it's rewarding. Beating your best time is great, and you know, much like our last game, which was developed by iMagic, Activision is one of the great developers of the Atari 2600 era, and they were knocking it out of the park as well, just like iMagic. I think my two favorite developers back in the day were Activision and iMagic, and this is a great game. If you haven't played it, I recommend it. Coming in at number 2 is the 1981 Coleco Atari 2600 game Smurf Rescue at Gargamel's Castle. Guys, this is a platformer, and this one is really impressive for the graphics, the sound, and just the overall gameplay. Now, it is a little touch and go with the controls. The jumping mechanics are not the greatest. But
We as kids used to watch the cartoon.
the Smurf cartoon, we sure did, that's right. And once you get the kind of jumping mechanic down and you know what you're doing, it's a lot of fun. You got to rescue Smurfette. Gargamel captured Smurfette, of course, and he has her.
Gargamel.
Yeah, he has her in the castle, and you got to go through all these crazy obstacles, one screen after another, until you get to the castle, and then you got to jump up and hopefully try to rescue Smurfette without falling to your death. And this is the only Coleco game. What is this? Is this the dog? Or?
It's the kitty cat.
Oh, the kitty cat. Oh, no, that's right. Of course. What was the cat's name?
I don't know.
I don't remember. And coming in at the top spot, our number 1 most underrated Atari 2600 game, Activision's 1984 shmup, Beam Rider. Oh my gosh, look at that. Very nice. Now, Beam Rider, guys, is not only the number 1 game on this list of underrated Atari 2600 games, but it's my personal favorite Atari 2600 game. That's saying a lot. Unfortunately, this game is kind of spendy on eBay.
What is it, your baby?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I do like it. So, guys, this is one of the best early examples of a spaceship shooter. It's so good. You're on like this grid, and you go left to right. You have to take out the various spaceships. You have to collect your extra lives. You have some torpedoes that you use to take down the bonus boss ships. Visually, it's incredible. Sound-wise, it's amazing.
And it's kind of like Space Invaders in a way.
Yeah, it's very Space Invaders, but I think better than Space Invaders. I can't recommend Beam Rider enough, guys. It's worth the price tag, in my opinion, and it is truly one of the great Atari 2600 games. If you haven't played Beam Rider, you know, if you don't even pick up a physical copy, then maybe you can play it some other ways. I recommend trying to figure out a way to get a little Beam Rider in your life.
Missing out.
Yep, that's right. And those are our top 5 most underrated Atari 2600. Uh-oh, what's happening here? Are you going to go Hulk? Very nice. Yeah, you had to fit a Hulk in there, didn't you? So, guys, those are the underrated Atari games. Let us know what you think. Do you think some of those games don't deserve to be on the list, or do you think that's a solid list? What would be your list? Ours is not the right list, it's just our list. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate it. We're posting new videos all the time. And of course, we have the community Discord, the Dragon's Lair, where you can hang out when we're not posting videos on YouTube. I'm live streaming on Twitch, guys, every Tuesday and Thursday for all retro action on a CRT television. And I'm going to be playing these 5 underrated Atari 2600 games on the next stream. Thanks so much. Until next time, bye.
See you all in the funnies.